One of my earliest memories of elementary school dates all the way back to my very first field day, one of the most awaited spring days of the year filled with games on the field. It was the one day of the year that made all of the hard work worth it, because for a moment, everything would stop, and all that mattered to me would be winning the sack race, duck, duck, goose, or dodgeball. But every year, without a doubt, the one game that I looked forward to was tug of war. Whether it was class versus class, girls versus boys, or random teams, it was the one game that filled me with a desire to win. Obviously, in Squid Games, this game is life or death, but in reality, it doesn't work that way. This game is played mindlessly by every single person in the world. And until recently, I didn't take a moment to step back and understand its deep and hidden meaning. Tug of war is a catalyst to an aspect of our lives. Tug of war is a game in which imbalance is the key. With the imbalance, one team will get some extra force and the other will topple over like dominoes. Equilibrium is only maintained when both of the teams exert the same amount of force. Let's say our life is a game of tug of war. On one end, we have extracurriculars, future-focused activities, and school. On the other end, we have passions, friends, going out, traveling, and social media. The only way to maintain equilibrium is by managing your time wisely. This is a form of art only a few have managed to master, of which does not include me. In fact, I personally tend to throw off this balance, and turns out it runs in my family. During the summer of 2019, my family and I took a trip to Europe, where we went on vacation to London, Switzerland, and Paris before taking a stop in India to visit our family. During this trip, we were forced to reevaluate time management as a whole. We had to choose between getting on our next plane or train or having fun. During this trip alone, we got separated at a train station, almost missed 2 of our planes, and almost missed 3 of our trains. During this trip, had we been even 20 seconds later every single time, we would have been in deep trouble. However, this balancing act of tug of war doesn't just apply to traveling. It's a very real and important thing in our personal lives right now. It's essential to find the balance between our personal and educational or work lives. As a high schooler, I don't really get the opportunity to take a step back, take a deep breath, and dive back into the activities that I'm doing, because generally I end up working harder instead of smarter. And in that situation, I don't really get time for my personal interests. Let's say our lives are a stove with 4 burners on it. My personal 4 burners are my health, school, family, and friends. The 4 burners theory by David Sedaris states that in order to be successful, you have to cut off 1 of your burners. And in order to be really successful, you have to cut off 2 of your burners. If I were to take this theory at a day-to-day life step, today for me, my 2 personal burners would be school and health. School because I had a huge calculus test today, and health because I've been a nervous wreck about this talk all week. This is one way to approach the 4 burners theory. Another way to approach this theory is by dividing your life into seasons. For example, for me personally, in the months of June to August, I would be focusing a lot on family, friends, and my health, because at this point in time, school is not a priority for me. So, as James Clear once said, you can do many things in life, just not all at the same time. In this time, I've learned that time is the key variable to everything. In physics especially, time is the one variable you can't even solve the rate at which a ball falls for. So time is essential in our daily lives as well. And for me personally, as a high schooler, I can attest to the fact that social media is the biggest time eater of them all. A time-consuming monster, if you ask me. Every one of us has our own time-consuming monsters, and here are some strategies to combat them. Number 1, start each day with a plan. All of us either start our days with school or work. The way to combat this is by planning out the first 30 minutes of your day right after that, which is equally helpful. Number 2, use closed lists. This is a special form of to-do list which can be used in a way that no new tasks can be added onto the list until all of the current ones are completed. This forces the user to work on all of their tasks within a time frame, such as an afternoon, a day, or a week. Number 3, POSEC. Prioritize, organize, streamline, economize, and contribute. So make sure that you're prioritizing your tasks, organizing them in a formal list, streamlining the mundane tasks of your day, such as washing the dishes, economizing your far-reaching targets, and contributing time little by little to the tasks lower on your list. Number 4, minimize your distractions, whether it's social media platforms or streaming platforms for Netflix, make sure to put them aside just for the time you're at work. And number 5, watch where your time is going. Whether it's overly cleaning your room or glamorizing your notes, make sure that you're noticing where the precious moments of your day are going. These are strategies that work for me. Every one of us tackles life in a different way, and with that comes a new set of strategies to manage your time wisely. Time. The indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. Time is the most essential aspect of our life, and because of time, we sometimes tend to ignore it, even though it's finite. So, although time is the key equilibrium of our life, it's important to know that all it takes is one extra push or pull, and the game is anyone's to win again. Thank you.